Hello, everyone. Good morning from where I am. Good afternoon and good evening to many folks attending this webinar today. This webinar is provided by ENSULIB, the IFLA's Environment, Sustainability, and Library section. Today's webinar is called Common Waste, Common Libraries. Sustainability in libraries is multifaceted. We see libraries as spaces of commoning, where knowledge is shared and made freely accessible. What role does sustainability play here? This program, Common Waste, Common Libraries, from the Goethe-Institutes in Southeast Europe, shows in which directions we can think about green libraries. This format is aimed to network young initiators from different countries and different backgrounds with each other and to expand knowledge about sustainability in libraries. What can we learn from this project and what are the biggest challenges? My name is Beth Filer-Williams. I am on the standing committee for ENSULIB, and I'm a user experience research librarian at the Oregon State University Libraries in the Pacific Northwest of the US. I'm co-facilitating this webinar today with Vivian Bird, who's also a standing committee member and a citizen science initiative librarian at Los Angeles Public Library. Let's see. I'll turn it over to her for the next slide.
Looks like we still have the cover on screen.
Oh, sorry.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. This is the ENSULIB webinar series number 15. And this event is being recorded, except for the breakout rooms, which we won't be using today. And the chat, all the chat in the chat box will also be recorded as well. The video will be posted on YouTube and the link will be posted on ENSULIB's webpage and on Facebook. The chat and the Q&A proceedings will not be recorded nor published. We have mute everyone's microphone for this event. And the comments, if you have any comments, please use the chat box to type it in. And if you have any questions, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. If you have any questions regarding privacy, please email professionalsupport@ifla.org. And the talk is GDPR compliant. And if you're interested in IFLA and Zoom's privacy policies, we also have the link on screen, so you can check it out from there. All right, and moving on, Beth.
All right, I'm going to be speaking a little bit for Harry, who may not be able to join us today. A little bit about ENSULIB. We are a committee that does lots of different things, from webinars to our recent newsletter was just published. We do a newsletter twice a year, and we ask for people around the globe to share what you might be doing related to green libraries. We offer conferences or workshops at conferences and the Congress when IFLA is having their yearly Congress. We have lots of different resources on what green libraries are, definitions, how you might be able to use that information, lots of different information. Let me see if I can give you a link to different ways to get involved in the chat, and you can read that to find out more. I would like to get on with the reason you're here today and introduce our two panelists, our speakers. I'm really excited to hear more about what they've been working on today. First, we have Alexandra Vivalidou, who is a trained journalist and worked until 2023 for a German television public broadcaster. For over a year now, she's been working at the Goethe-Institute in Athens in the Department of Information and Libraries as a project manager for educational programs and as an editor. She is the project coordinator for this Common Waste, Common Libraries program, and organizes workshops and events on the topics of sustainability, media literacy, digitality. We also have speaking Dražen Šimelsha, who works as a senior research associate at the Ivar Pilar Institute of Social Sciences in Zagreb. His fields of work are social and solidarity economy, sustainability, and permaculture. He has published 8 books and several scientific papers. The last is Public Policies for Social and Solidarity Economy, a Manual for Cities. He teaches the Global Society and Sustainable Development course at Peace Studies, and he is an active in the Association of Green Network of Activist Groups, ZMAG, and the coordinator of the Center of Knowledge program, and as a manager of the Cooperative for the Good Economy. And he still has time to mentor for this program that we're going to be hearing about. I'm going to stop sharing my slides and let's move on to the presenters. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the nice introduction, Beth. I will just share my screen. So I hope you can see everything. Okay. Yeah, I'm really happy and excited to be here today, and thank you everyone for joining us. Common Waste, Common Libraries is a regional project of the Goethe-Institutes in Southeast Europe, realized between May and November 2024. And yeah, before we start, I would like to give you a short overview about today's webinar. We will go through the different phases of the project, starting with some information about the initial idea and our team. Then I talk about the selection of participants and our open call and the ideathon. We will also go into more detail about the individual project ideas. My colleague Dražen will take over point 3 and will tell you more about the project development from the mentor's perspective. And at the end, we'll look at the implementation and the results. And if we still have enough time in the end, I will also shortly go into our green activities at our library in Athens. So let's start with the initial idea and the motivation for the project. The Southeast Europe region faces varying degrees of challenges, such as economic development, political stability, and environmental issues. We have thousands of tons of waste in the Mediterranean Sea, and at the same time, most countries in the region still have a relatively underdeveloped infrastructure for recycling and waste disposal, which leads to environmental damage. Dražen also brought us some statistics about recycling and waste disposal in the US. Dražen, do you want to say maybe 1-2 sentences about that?
Yes, of course. Greetings to all, especially the ones that we are very different time zones than we are, so very early or very late. Thank you for joining us. So very briefly, for us in Southeast Europe, it was interesting to realize that regarding the waste, the most of the countries are not one of the on the highest level, you know, regarding the amount of waste that citizens or industry are generating, because you know they are not highly developed countries with high speed consumerism. So most of the other European countries produce more waste, but even with this smaller amount, we are not. Most of the countries are not doing anything efficient. So even with a smaller amount of waste, we have a bigger problems in environment regarding landfills, polluted area, not managing waste in some kind of sustainable this for our reduce, reuse repair and then recycling way. So for us, it was also challenging to dive into this topic to see how we can improve this situation, but by focusing on libraries as some kind of common place of gathering, learning, and bringing people together. So that was our initial point. And we also, during our project, we also didn't bother too much people with this general, information about waste, because it is more connected to their activism when they are maybe advocating something on public policy level. So we talk about this, but we also talk a lot how each one of us can do something regarding waste reduction in our everyday lives. So life. So this was also one strive for balancing between general picture and our daily individual life.
Thank you, Dražen. Yeah, we see generally also here in our society in the region that sustainable action is becoming established, but can be definitely expanded. And this is also where our regional project, Common Waste, Common Libraries, comes in by trying to network relevant players in the environmental movement and libraries as places of communication and informal education. We see libraries as spaces of commoning where we want to share knowledge and make it really accessible. So our project intended to strengthen the discourse in the South Europe region by networking sustainability actors, young professionals, and librarians. And the aim is to strengthen sustainable and environmentally conscious behavior in society by expanding knowledge and action competence. Next, I would like to briefly introduce you to our team. From the Goethe side, we are 3 people. Bettina Wenzel is Head of Information and Library for the whole region Southeast Europe. She's based with me at the Goethe-Institute in Athens and initiated the project together with our colleague from Zagreb, Snezana Božin, who is Head of Library there. And as you know, I'm also part of the team and we're responsible for the whole project coordination. As we couldn't provide the expertise in sustainability, recycling, and design, it was very important for us to have a good project partner. We are therefore very grateful for the great cooperation we had with SMAC, the Green Network of Activist Groups based in Croatia. SMAC operates as a center of knowledge for social development in Croatia, in sustainable living and the development of permaculture. Our closest collaboration was with Mateja Medic and Dražen Simlesar, who are also the heads of SMAC. They had a double role as our project partners, who created together with us the content and the process of the project, and their second role as mentors, supporting all the participants with their questions. And our third mentor was Ivana Borovniak, who's a designer based in Zagreb. Ivana was supporting the team in all questions regarding the design of their products. And also an important partner was Janina Taneva. We only worked with her in the context of the Ideaton, where she led the team building process as a facilitator. Here you can see the 4 planned phases of the program. Our first step was a call of application. The call was open to applicants from 7 countries: Bulgaria, Bosnia, Croatia, Romania, Greece, Serbia, and Turkey. And we also cooperated with the Goethe-Institutes from these countries. We advertised the call via also our social media channels, and the target group were especially librarians and young professionals in the fields of sustainability, art, and design. We labeled the open call as a hybrid program with a 3-day Ideaton in Zagreb as well as online workshops and a networking event. The main task in the first phase was to build cross-national teams and to develop ideas and products. So in the end, we had 46 applications in total. Most applicants were from Greece and Turkey. And for the selection, we made a jury session with 5 people, our Goethe team with our partner SMAG. And yeah, I have to say it was really not an easy job to select only a number of maximum 16 to 18 participants, as almost all of the applications were really, really good. What surprised us a bit was the large number of architects who applied for the project. We had also many librarians who were interested in taking part, and only few artists or experts in sustainability. In addition to a convincing application, we also had to take into account that we select applicants from all participating countries and to have a good mix of librarians and the other professional backgrounds. In the end, we had 17 participants from all the countries. And yeah, let's have a look now at the challenges during this first project phase up to the Ideaton. That was first finding, as you could see, a balanced mix of applicants. We also had to do targeted paid advertising, especially to get more applications from the design sector. Also, a huge problem, especially for me as coordinator, was the commitment of the participants, but only during this first phase up to the Ideaton, because many canceled after initially accepting the invitation because they realized the workload of the program is really big or for other personal reasons. So I had to contact successors until shortly before the Ideaton to fill our participant numbers. Also, a big challenge were getting the visa applications for our Turkish participants. That's a really long and difficult bureaucratic process. We had contact with the embassy, also calls from the Turkish police, but luckily all our Turkish participants could take part in the end, and we were really, really happy about that because we had also other projects where that didn't work out. And lastly, the planning the journey to Zagreb was more difficult than we expected because surprisingly the connection between the Balkan countries is less developed than what I expect. So maybe we would choose a location with better connections the next time, but also Zagreb was really a beautiful location for our event. So yeah, let's move on to the Ideaton in Zagreb. I think these days were definitely the highlight of the project for us, but also for the participants. These days were very crucial for the success of the project, to just get spirit for the team and the project. We had one introductory online session before that, but yeah, then we all met there. The main goals of the Ideaton were to get to know each other personally, not through a screen. Then we had to make the cross-national team building. We wanted to provide the participants with enough inspiration and input to develop their ideas. And we wanted to create motivation and team spirit so that they work on their projects across months and national borders. So we all met at the 5th of June at the library of the Goethe-Institute in Zagreb. After an introduction, we had 2 welcoming lectures, one about the waste problem and landfills in Southeast Europe, and the second about positive examples, such as the Green Library of the city of Karlovac in Croatia. And also we had an important ice-breaking panel facilitated by Janina Taneva and a little dinner party. It was very important to start getting to know each other and connecting very quickly, as we only had 2 half days for the team building. The second day took place at the Recycle Estate, the headquarters of SMAK in Vukomeric. It's a 30-minute drive away from Zagreb. And yeah, it was very helpful for this dynamic and intensive process to realize it in the middle of nature. Recycled Estate is an eco-social education center for permaculture design and sustainable living. As Dražen was the host of this day, I would like to give the word to him to tell us a bit from the activities of the day.
Okay, so as as Alexandra said, for us it was really important that participants, meet together because they are from different countries. They didn't know each other. Us, we came very fast to the idea to come with them for the full day at our place. It is a place surrounded with a forest. This year in May we celebrated 25 years of our project. So it is also a good example, not just how to try to live sustainable, but how to run things in a common way, because the common libraries, common waste, and commoning as a different approach to some kind of ownership of management of the things was one of the main message of our project. So they can also so how we are managing together energy, water, social dynamic, food, different kind of areas that are important for sustainability. And yeah, it was really a nice day. The nature also boost us with design thinking, with initiating this spiral of different ideas. And it was also, participants also said later that this day was also crucial for them to work later together, because they bond together quite a lot. We spend also not the whole day together, but we also, we also have some evening together, around the campfire with some dinner together and some music and having fun. So for us, it was, as Alexandra said, for us, it was not just important, that they come up with the idea and not create functional teams. So it was also a good place to bond them together, and that they can start to work together and set up the teams that will also work later in a good way.
Thank you, Dražen. Yeah, so as you said, it was in the end very important to build and at the end of the ideathon the teams, and we were really successful with that. We had 4 teams in the end and 4 completely different approaches to tackle the waste problem. I will now briefly present you the 4 ideas and the teams. So we have the team Book It, which consists of 3 architects, Umut, Danai, and Fatma, all with little different focus on innovation, biodesign, or eco-friendly design. And Thomas, who's from the art sector. The team Book It's project was probably the most innovative and also complex idea. It combines innovation and research to explore the potential of mycelium mushrooms as a sustainable resource. The connection to our program is by using discarded books or paper and to grow the mycelium on them. This molding process, which you can see here, does not result in a waste product at the end, but in material that can be used as the basis for new eco-friendly materials. For example, to build environmentally friendly bookshelves or other items according to the needs of libraries. Next, we have our team ENSULIB. It is our biggest team, consisting of 3 librarians, Nadina, Valentina, and Martina, as well as 1 product designer, Adin. Jelena is media scientist and Adna student in the cultural sector. Team ENSULIB has created a website that provides a variety of multimedia toolkits on sustainability issues. The idea is to fill the communication gap between librarians in the Balkans and to connect them. The website generally aims to improve library operations and services. The team members are all from Bosnia, Serbia, and Croatia, so they are talking more or less the same language, and that's why they didn't make an English version of the site. They have understood sustainability, especially in the sense of collecting and making available existing knowledge. Our next team, Team Change the Script, consists of Eva, one very enthusiastic librarian, Nikos, who is an architect and designer who has a focus on cultural spaces and theater, and Maria, a media scientist with focus on storytelling. They created a project that combines theater, art, and recycling and aims to bring communities closer together through the transformative power of theater. These photos here are from their first scenography workshop in Croatia. The aim is to provide librarians with a toolkit to develop their own sustainable theater projects and enrich library spaces with innovative and community-focused performances. And our last team, the Sustainable Neighbors. The name of this team is a reference to the origin of the team members, Greece and Turkey. Maria, Melia, and Hila are 3 librarians with focus on sustainability, and we have Sophia, who is an environmental scientist. The project idea of this team lives from the expertise of its members. They made their own survey of librarians in Greece and Turkey. Considering the results, they developed a guide with strategies for making libraries more sustainable based on the UN's 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The results are implemented in the form of workshops at libraries, mostly with librarians, but here on the photos you can also see a workshop they did with kids at an art library in Athens. Okay, next I would give again the word to Dražen to tell us more about the mentor's perspective.
Okay, yeah. So we had a 4 team, as you can see, and now I will just share with you also very shortly, and maybe also as some kind of initiation for our later discussion, some of the things that was challenging for us, but some of the things that also supported us in this process by working with these 4 quite different teams. Also, what Alexandra said, we can see that 2 of the teams were focused more on education and spreading the knowledge, spreading the information, raising the awareness, and 2 of them are more, let's say, they were more innovative regarding combining architecture, waste deconstruction, combining food waste and books and theater and act and playing and drama. So they were also in this way, they were quite interesting. And for us, this was surprising that they are really, they came up on this day at our place with 4 basically different ideas. And for us, it was really interesting to see this kind of outcome of this design thinking process. So challenges for us, as we already heard, they were from diverse countries, diverse background, and it was a natural process. We had Janina's help as a trainer in this design thinking process, and it was facilitated process. But they are quite different characters normally. So this was one challenge because they came from a different background. That is why for us this process was of that they are coming from the bottom to these ideas. Important because we balance this challenge, through this participatory process, because in a way they choose during the discussion, during the open presentations, during the open debates, in which team they will end. And it is also interesting to say that some of them are, switch the team at some point. So maybe just one, please, just to finish one slide before to finish these challengings. Yes, time was also one of the challenge. I don't know what to do with this, because we are always occupied and there is always some important things to work. But we started in April. We had this ideathon in June, and then summer came. In Europe, we have, especially in this region, we have these long summer holidays. And for some of the teams, it was a challenge, to keep alive communication and enthusiasm during the summer. And the third challenge was physical distance among them, So some of them, as I said, had really not just, projects that they can do everything online. It was important for them to meet together, to discuss, and even to practice some things. So this was also one of the challenges. And I like this picture because, as you can see, this guy, Matea, one of the trainer, is smiling and encouraging them. And one of our participant, is already, his head is already not good. And he's already thinking how they will achieve all of these activities that they prepared. Next slide. So these challenges we try to overcome, as I said, with this bottom-up approach. And as a mentors, we were really on their disposal. It was not just that we trained them on this day and, on the ideathon and say, okay, goodbye, see you on the final event. They had the rights to call us whenever they want, if there is some problems, and some of the teams use this opportunity. And we had good and transparent communication with Goethe, and we transferred that to the communication with participants. And we had, it is okay to share with all of you, we had 2 major challenges in 2 teams. In one teams, basically, they had really some of the team members disappear at some point, and others couldn't reach them, and and the others, the team members that stay, felt that they are in some kind of blockade. They didn't know what to do. So we work with them a lot, how to move their idea from that blockade stage to the something more constructive. And in one team, we had, because of this physical distance and lack of communication during the summer, we had this, maybe it is mildly to say, a misunderstanding, but we had to solve also some different view on how projects should be going on and what they would do with the final results. But as I said, this bottom-up approach and good and transparent communication and message that we are there for them if they need it, of course, also help us to overcome these, let's say, problems that very often happen when people come together and start to work together and they didn't know each other before. So this is my main point from the mentors perspective. It was I have to say it was also time and energy demanding. There is 4 teams, always something happening. We also check with them very often and very frequently what is going on. So, but it was very lively, always something happened. They were enthusiastic. Even the team that stopped to communicate at some point, after discussion with us, they came up with a new energy and done later really amazing job. So it was also very interesting to see how with the good support, with the good facilitation, with the good support from one institution like Goethe-Institute is, how basically 4 or 6 or 5 individuals that didn't know each other before can create something, in real life. So that was really, for me, even today, this is one of the best outcome of this project.
Yeah, I think you already started with our conclusions, Dražen. I will shortly show you an overview of the implementation after the ideas were developed. We had a final event online to present the ideas, and currently we are now fully at the realization, the implementation of the projects. And as you can see, we are also in Athens cooperating with 2 of the teams. All the cooperating Goethe-Institutes are working together with every team. And we have to say also that we funded the projects with a budget of 2,000 euro for each team and helped them with the implementation. And they also cooperated with other institutions. So some of the teams were really into it also to contact other institutions and to get more funds. And yeah, we have workshops, we have panel discussions, presentations, exhibitions, so a really wide range of implementations. Our original program idea, which focused even more on the topic of waste management and recycling, was implemented in different ways by the teams, and we had to see in the end the social and educational level of sustainability played a bit more important role, I would say, in the development of the projects. And yeah, other learnings were definitely to remain open and flexible during this whole process, even if, like I just said, the intended thematic focus shifts a bit. Also, we could see that the successful implementation and continuation of the projects depends heavily on motivation, capacity, and team cohesion. For example, as you could see from the far-reaching implementation of our Sustainable Neighbors team, that this group has worked in a very focused way and has made a great effort to spread their project ideas. And even though maybe it was not the most exciting project at the first sight, it was really nice to see how they have already reached so many people with their project and contributed to environmental awareness among librarians in Greece, already right now. On the other hand, our Bookit team, who had a really great innovative idea, this group was really busy with other commitments, study commitments. So here less was implemented. And in the case of this team, we learned that it is also helpful to support individual efforts. For example, one team member organized a great exhibition in Bucharest on its own. As Dražen already mentioned, communication is key, like I would say probably in every project. And yeah, just encourage the participants to approach the mentors in the case of problems and conflicts, and to ask them if they need anything. Yeah, my conclusion is also that it was really incredible to see how these teams put together such great projects in a very short space of time, and even with work and personal commitments during the summer period. And it touched me very much about this project also that, so many different languages and cultures were meeting and coming together. And at the same time, they are all really united by so many comments. And we had a really wonderful team spirit through the whole project. Even we only met personally only once in Zagreb, and all the rest of the communication was only via Teams, Zoom meetings, and via mails. But yeah, that was really great that worked out. Thank you everyone for hearing us, and I think now it's time for questions.
All right. Thank you so much for this presentation today. Vivian, do we have any questions in our chat right now?
I do not see any questions coming in from the chat or in the Q&A, but I do have a question for Alexandra and Dražen. Do you guys have any of the green activities that you're currently running or upcoming?
Yes, maybe I can start. In Athens, our library, like from our Goethe-Institute in Athens, we are really working on green activities now for many years. It started with our library of things. We got this, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, and it was the first library of things here in this region, and connected to the library is like we have 4 categories and have now, I think, 101 items. And yeah, I mean, you need space for this. We are really lucky that we have the space here in Athens. Not every Goethe-Institute has so much space, but yeah, we have like items from the category outdoors, with our most popular item, a tent and a hammock.
Wow, a tent and a hammock. Love it.
And also for party and fun, we have a Polaroid camera or board games, which are also popular, and our do-it-yourself category with like really every tool you need, because it doesn't make sense to buy every tool. You don't need everything at home. And we also have makerspace objects, like things more for children to get a bit more and research our coding. And yeah, the idea was just to bring a bit this consciousness, especially here in Greece. It's not so usual to reuse. It's better to buy or to throw it away if it doesn't work anymore. And I mean, here the people doesn't have so much money, so even from that sense, and not only from the sustainability sense here, it is really good to reuse and to share. And we try to build this awareness also by workshops, like really workshops on how to seed plants from plant waste, or how to repair clothes. We also have now currently regularly a clothes swap and book swap event, which works really well. And yeah, it's on Saturdays with a little party vibe. And yeah.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. So it sounds like it's very well used, that your folks, humans, are coming in and using these tools or borrowing, coming to workshops to learn how to use them. Is it pretty widespread, or other libraries doing similar things in your area too? Library of Things?
I think it's slowly becoming more popular. Also, our community here is getting bigger and bigger. We had also workshops, or we had, for example, a repair cafe, like in the last years, where we only had sometimes 2 or 3 people joining us, and we thought, okay, that doesn't make sense to make an event with 3 people. But now the community is getting bigger, because sometimes they bring a friend of a friend, or they know now our workshops. And I think it's important to also advertise a lot these events, because many people think a library is just there to go and to get a book.
Right, to get a book.
Yeah.
My library also has a library of things, and it's the same situation. People are surprised to hear what things we lend. So it's good to get that advertising out and pass the word. I have a question about the Common Waste event that was seemingly so successful, despite challenges. You had some major challenges, it sounds like, for people getting there across the border, but also just helping teams along the way. Are you going to tackle this again? Will you be offering something like this in the future year, another Common Waste, Common Libraries event?
We will still have like really implementations of Common Waste next year. We will also realize change the script performance here in our Goethe-Institute. And we are also still hoping to implement the mushroom team with their mycelium if they have more time. But like really as a new regional project, we are not planning anything like this, but yeah, working on the already existing projects.
That makes sense. Help push forward the amazing projects. Again, if besides the slides and the recording, I was looking at the website that I put in the chat that talks more about the teams and the ideas. So those listening out there hopefully will follow up and hear more, or invite these people to share what they did. I think they were just fascinating projects. Do you have advice on other people, other libraries or regions that might want to do this? Thoughts on how to maybe scale? They can't all have Drazian's possibility to go and work there, but if across the globe, if there's a way others could maybe consider doing this kind of a project.
Was the question to me or to Rajan?
Either of you, if you have thoughts on how a library might do this. Finding partners sounds like an important part, finding a local partner to work with or something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely important. If you as a library don't have the expertise in this special topic, I think it's really crucial to get a project partner. We were lucky that our colleague from Zagreb knows SMAC, but I think every country for sure has an NGO who's has experts in this field. And I think also these NGOs are surely open to work together. Regarding fundings, yeah, I mean, here in the EU, it's also not so easy to get fundings. If you get one, it's really great. But yeah, I'm also not an expert in this field, and we didn't had to, like, we hadn't, it was not an EU project in this case.
I have a question in terms of, I know you mentioned that you have people coming in and doing programs with you from seeds and, you know, maybe gardening and stuff. Who are usually the people that come in and host these programs or offering these programs? Are they people from the community, or do the library pay someone to come in and do the speaking, or how does it work?
You mean for our general green activity?
Yeah, for your workshops. Yeah. Or is it someone train the librarians to host them?
It depends. For example, the close parties, swap parties, we just do with our own library team because, yeah, we can do this on our own. But we also have here in Athens one great partner, three women who are doing sustainable educational workshops for kids especially, and they have these great ideas like I don't know how to do sustainable colors to paint or how to repair clothes and something like that. So that's also again things that we as we can't offer from our experiences. So if we need someone, we always take a good partner, and if we are able to manage this on our own, we try to do it only with our colleagues.
Cool. That's awesome. We just recently got approached by a local, it's like a bike academy, so for bicycles, and we're not allowed to loan out bikes or e-bikes. I know some of the libraries in the States now, they actually loan out e-bikes, but we're not allowed to do that. There's a lot of liability issues when it comes to public libraries and with the city. So, but we were able to find like a bike academy who are willing to come in and teach teens how to repair bikes. So kind of sort of instill that idea of instead of buying yourself a car, maybe it's time for you to think about getting a bike. And then they learn how to repair their own bike when they're on the road. So they wouldn't keep on thinking about what am I going to do when the wheel pops, right? So these are some of the interesting things that's kind of developing. But I was wondering, so of all the library things you have, like over 110 items, 101 items, what would be the most kind of like something that you think people will least likely to think about having it, picking up, something that would you'll be able to check out from the library from your perspective? What do you think is the most strangest library things in your library?
Surprising. Yeah.
I think we have many strange items. We have a bread baking machine.
Awesome.
I think almost no one did now.
I think I'll go to the library to check out a bread baking machine, that's for sure.
It's like the German culture we're trying to show here.
Maybe
But
you can grow mushrooms in it, on the books.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mushroom growing kit. That's awesome. Yeah, such unique things, but everything's so related, being able, like you said, not having to buy it yourself, being able to learn and try it without having to spend the money, and then, cooking for yourself sounds wonderful. And I guess back to the partnerships and thinking about space, if libraries don't have a lot of space to have items to lend, the partnerships works out great. I know some libraries that they can't have whatever the physical thing is in their library to lend, but they have a coupon or a discount that the person can take and go to that business and borrow it from them. So sometimes if your library can't physically hold it there, maybe there's a partner nearby that can help with the storage or lending, and the library can work something out that way. I've seen that work well too. So yeah, it's great to hear about all these different things libraries are doing, and this the service design workshop, the ideation out in nature sounds amazing. I was hoping it was going to happen again so I could find a way to go and join you. But if there's no more questions coming in right now, it sounds like folks, I see the comment in there about how I love the different groups worked on the projects and how fun and relaxing the relaxation was integrated. Yes, we need to have fun while we're trying to create a good climate friendly and sustainable future, right? Any last words before we end?
Oh, we have a question coming in from Q&A. Someone put it in a Q&A, say we should change our name to Thingery.
Like a library, but a thingery,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Kind of like a library. Yes,
Interesting.
libraries are way more than books. They're a good community center of lending many things to help their community.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining us today. And I hope those of you that are joining us now or listening to this webinar later got a lot of great ideas. And please come see future webinars by ENSULIB, and the recording of this will be up shortly, and we'll send it out to all that attended. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your day, evening, night.
Thank you, people.
Thank you,
Take care.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
night.